Well, this football team definitely, definitely will not make it easy for you. They are determined to put you through the ringer each and every season without fail. So for after the thrill and the happiness of being able to get into a European away game on Thursday, I am absolutely smashed in the face with a absolute collapse on Sunday at Brighton and Hove Albion. Everything looked so sweet. We were on it from moment one, putting passes in, pressing, running, taking opportunities like you wouldn't believe. And we were in hysteria, sitting there looking at Brennan Johnson scoring 6 in 6. James Maddison putting us 2-0 ahead. Dominic Solanke running his socks off and pulling all the strings. Defence looking stable and assured. Even when the threats was coming in, it looked like we were in total control. So you sit back, you relax, you chat with your mates. Second half starts, and a different team comes out, and within 18 minutes, you're 3-2 down and not looking like you're ever going to get anywhere near back into this game. And whilst I kind of understand from a neutral point of view what a great experience that is, what a great football match to watch, the end-to-end stuff, the turnover of it. As a Tottenham fan, it was just heart-wrenching. Like literally, it rips your soul out for how good we were in the first half. That's how bad we were in the second. Not taking anything away from Brighton, who came out in that second half and were determined to get back in that game. And they ran their socks off. They controlled everything, and they made us look absolutely ordinary. They scored their 3 goals. They knew what they were doing. That was it. So all credit to Brighton. Well played. You can't complain at the way they played their football and what they delivered. But the sheer collapse of the defence was shocking, absolutely shocking to see. Destiny Udogie will take the brunt of the complaint for sure. At fault for probably all 3 of the goals to a certain extent. Coming down that side, you could see they were running riot down there in the end, and he could not handle it. He could not handle the pace. And I think after the first goal went in, where he'd made that mistake and couldn't clear it, it got in his head. It got in his head. His head was gone. It absolutely gone, and there was just no way he could handle what was going on. And that, for me, is the crux of where it started. The generally faultless Mickey van der Ven as well seemed to go to pieces, diving in, and getting left on his arse was something shocking to see because he doesn't normally do that. Bentancur, for all his string pulling in the first half, was absent in the second. James Maddison as well, who was instrumental and really getting involved in pretty much everything good that was happening in the first half, disappeared from view. And I have to say, yet again, Christian Romero, ball watching, whilst Danny Welbeck stands in acres of space and just heads in that third goal. And that was it. That was it. Game over. Game over. And the players absolutely have to take responsibility for that. They were terrible. They let the game go. They let the Brighton players play. They didn't press, they didn't push, they didn't attack. There was no intensity at all. So they have to shoulder the blame for that loss. However, you cannot not talk about Ange Postecoglou and his views following the game. Spot on, absolutely unacceptable. Worst defeat since he's been there, from being so dominant to throwing it away, totally unacceptable. But Ange Postecoglou has got to take some responsibility in that game. You are there as the manager. You can see what's unfolding in front of you, as we can watching it on the TV. However, to just stand there with your hands in your pockets, just watching it and shaking your head and not doing anything is crazy. Crazy. I mean, I get it. He's not the running up and down, screaming and shouting Conte style manager. I get it. But you have substitutes available to help you manage that game if something's not working for you. And I cannot understand for the life of me why he didn't put in Jed Spence for Udogie after that first goal, because clearly he wasn't recovering. He wasn't recovering. So even if he didn't do it straight away, once he got the yellow card, surely that was the excuse to get him off, because he's in danger now and you need some impetus. And we know how effective Jed Spence has been coming on and playing really well. I also cannot get my head around why. Well, maybe he's trying to play Timo Werner into some kind of level of performance, and I do think that the last couple of games he has been better. He has been attacking more and getting beyond players and playing the ball across and so on. But his confidence is not there, and I know he's not going to get confidence by not playing. But at the same time, it's just not working for him. He's just not working. He needs something. He needs something to go for him. But also, the team still needs to win the game. And when you've got a talent like Mikey Moore on the bench, surely it makes sense to make that change earlier than that. If not for the whole game, we should have made that change at some point earlier in that game, because giving Mikey Moore 5 minutes is just not going to cut it, I'm afraid. And again, central midfield, where we was losing it, Bentancur and Maddison were getting absolutely nowhere. Why leave it so late to get Bissouma and Sarr on? And Sarr has been pivotal in the last sort of few games, bringing some intensity and so on. And again, on Thursday, when I was in Budapest watching Bissouma, who I thought had a really good game, he has an absolute level of ability going against his ex-team and so on as well. You would really want to bring some impetus into that. So I literally cannot understand what Ange is thinking there. For me, the worst part of this, though, from Ange's point of view, is his comments. Like, I've always respected the fact that he is so clear and concise and determined about what he's trying to do. I just cannot. It's almost like he's waffling and talking rubbish now and coming up with these crazy situations. I mean, I read the what he's actually supposed to have said. I haven't watched it to confirm it for definite, but to be saying it doesn't matter about substitutes if you haven't got the impetus in the game, then it's not going to matter. Of course, it's going to matter. You're changing the personnel. You're sending a message. You're sending a message to the team. You're getting your message across to the team. You're sending your subs on to say, look, this is what you need to do. You need to take a breath. You need to get hold of the ball. You need to settle down. Stop lumping it. Stop being put under pressure, put them under pressure, do the things that you're good at that worked really well in the first half. So it's so frustrating to think that you have gone on this winning streak, 5 games. And I get what people are saying. I understand it. Oh, it's only Coventry. Oh, it's only Karabakh. Oh, it's only Ferencvaros. Oh, it's only Man United, and it's a really poor Man United and Brentford and blah blah blah. You've got to beat who is in front of you. Winning breeds confidence. Confidence breeds more confidence that you keep going and you keep working and you keep that momentum going. This defeat will absolutely sting for sure. I know, I understand. We are in a rebuild, a painful rebuild. We've had to start right from the beginning. We've had to cut right back. The only player really that's left of the previous regime is Reggie, and he's not playing. All these players that we've got now are players that Ange Postecoglou wants, and he wants to build on. Very young team, lots to learn. Get it, understand it. But we're now looking at not taking Eze as an opportunity, as a really poor decision, because now with Sonny being out, we're relying on an out of form Timo Werner and a 17-year-old kid, a just 17-year-old kid, to turn these games around. Now, Timo might come good, Mikey Moore. Maybe this fantastic talent, and I'm not knocking him, but at this moment in time, you've got to say you needed some strong personalities out on that team. The lack of leadership was. Madison was out there, who's supposed to be a part of this leadership group, and Romero is supposed to be this leadership group, and Romero is at fault for that last goal, in my opinion. The lack of leadership coming from Postecoglou to captain to this team is really concerning. International break now. Hate international football. Really not a fan of it. I just can't be bothered. I'm actually thinking about looking into my DNA to see if I can find myself a different country to be a tag to. I'd rather have be I don't know, a fan of some obscure country somewhere there's no expectation than be an English fan, because it's nothing worse than being an English fan and a Tottenham fan, to be honest, with all the expectation. I try to keep my feet very firmly on the ground. I try to make sure that I don't get overexcited or whatever, and I take one game at a time. I enjoy the wins. I moan about the losses, but you have to keep level-headed about the whole thing. This is one game of football lost out of the last 5, and you can only last 6, whatever. And I get you can go back as far as you want and pull up all different sorts of stats. Worst start since Ponte Ramos and all that. I've seen it all. I've seen all that. But you can only go with the here and now. You can only go with the here and now. Do I want to go through all this change again? I don't. I literally don't. Another change of philosophy, another change of footballing style, another choice about footballers and who's in, who's out, who's good, who's not good. I just want some stability and something to build on. And they've always said, and Ange has always said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take time. You can't just come in and have this level of change and expect it to work straight away. There will be ups and there will be downs. And I was expecting there to be ups and downs. But when you start so well, your expectation level of that performance goes right up. And this is not about the fact that we lost. It's about the way we lost. The way we lost was not acceptable. It was absolutely appalling. And you don't want to hear from the players all those sound bites of "we'll learn from this and come back stronger" and all that nonsense. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear that. I want you to get out there and show me what you can do. I want you to do what you're paid to do, and that is to work your socks off regardless. And I don't think you did. I think in the second half you thought it was one. You didn't need to play. Then they shot you with the first 2 goals, and that was it. You went to pieces. You showed no character, no leadership, and you threw the game away, and which was a great opportunity to build with Villa drawing. It's a great opportunity to build out on some momentum going into that international break, ready for West Ham on the 19th. So absolutely disappointed, really, really disappointed. I don't know what else to say really. So not much of a review, to be honest. Just a bit of a rant and a moan. I'm being disappointed with that. Overall, these games where we have lost, we've been unlucky. Unlucky against Newcastle, unlucky against Arsenal, really, with 1 goal in it from a set piece, which is disappointing. But this was one that you really have to chalk up as a real poor performance that the fans deserve so much more from. So again, from the ecstasy of being in Budapest to the absolute despair of the performance at Brighton. Not good enough. Take a look in the mirror, boys. But listen, we're fans. We're always going to be there. We'll be there long after these players have left, long after Ange has left. We'll still be there and we'll still be supporting this team. So we just have to keep on and keep on and keep on. There's nothing else to be said apart from up the Spurs.